name's Nina. I'm the owner and founder of Cakes by Nina. I started initially 8 years ago in the business, and I was just doing novelty cakes, which I absolutely loved. And I must admit, the first 2 years, nerve-wracking. Super nerve-wracking, because you've got to rely on your skills that you can actually pull those cakes off. And then people were seeing my quirkiness and my novelty cakes and were asking me to do wedding cakes. So I started 2 years into my business, I started doing wedding cakes. And now I wouldn't look back, it's exploded. The wedding cake industry is taken over from my novelty cake industry. I still do the novelty side and the celebratory cake because I enjoy it, but the wedding cake definitely has taken over because I've done so many now, hundreds, absolute hundreds, and people see my cakes now at actual weddings and taste them because the ingredients, quality ingredients is really important to me, and the taste is really important to me as well as what it looks like. And 90% of my work now is from recommendations, which is brilliant. Want more than that. I do sketches. I do lots and lots of sketches, rough sketches of what ideas I have that I see just going, generally being out and about. I get ideas, looking at other cake makers, I get inspiration from their work. That I never copy a design. I don't claim to copy a design, but I appreciate some people like that style. So I've got my own style. Everybody keeps telling me I've got my own style, so it's really difficult to copy a design anyway because I've got my own specific style. Yes, so actually it ends up changing because I end up getting my dummies, and I ice my dummies first, and I've made all these bits. I spend days and days and days making lots of bits and bobs, i.e. roses, orchids, and loads of different flowers and embellishments, even funny little creatures or people. And I have this vision on a piece of paper, but actually after I pull a dummy together, it's all a bit ad hoc really, because I create it as I'm building it, if that makes sense. And it's sort of my sketch, but it's not, because I find a different way of doing it. And actually, when they turn out better than my sketch, I get a real buzz. I'm really, really excited by that. And some dummies I've done and they haven't worked, and I just start again. And I take them apart and I start again until I'm happy with them. And normally they get a really good reaction, so I'm doing something right. I work from home. We looked at buying a shop. It wasn't viable, so we decided. I'm very lucky. I've got lots of space. I've got my room, my consultation room. I've got a lovely big kitchen, and people like it. They like it because they come and see me. They can see the environment their cake's made in. They can see it from, so that's a nice thing, hygienic level. So you actually see where your cake's produced. It's a nice, relaxed atmosphere, and people generally like the atmosphere. They come in here and they like coming in here. It's not pompous. I'm not meeting them in a cafe somewhere, which is, I find a little bit strange, but personally, because you're not seeing the environment your cake's being produced in. So, yeah, I work from home.
So would you be able to give us a rough estimate of how many years you've been doing this and how many cakes you've probably made?
Oh, that's a really difficult one. I've always done it as a hobby since I was 18 years old, and I'm not divulging my age. So my dad actually got me into it. He bought me a book, and I just was like, wow, this is great, and I just started then. But I've never done it full time as a hobby. It's just been always rumbling in the background. Then later on in life, I had my family, my beautiful twin boys, and they got to about 7 years old, and I was itching to do something because I've always been a hard grafter, a hard worker. And I didn't know what to do, but I still wanted to be a stay-home mummy. So friends and family said, look, why don't you do your cakes? Do your cakes proper. Just do your cakes proper. So I decided I'd give it a go. And I remember my first commission, and it was this lady in the woods with lots of animals around her and everything. And I was so nervous. This cake took me forever to do. I was super, super nervous. But when he picked it up, the reaction was, I want to do this. He was so pleased and over the moon. And I've done many a cake since. I've made people cry and stuff, and I do it for that reaction. It's just amazing to make people feel so happy, and you've done this wow for them. But I've actually been in business now proper 8 years, The wedding side 6 years, and it's just literally grown. I meet them at fairs quite often. I meet them at fairs and we have a good old chat, and then I tell them to contact me via email or text or give me a telephone number and I'll call them back, and then we arrange a mutual date to come and see me. And yes, and then they come and see me, the mutual date, and a lot of them have no clue what they want whatsoever, and that's absolutely fine because there's always something they like and something they don't like. So we go through the process of colours. We start from colours, seeing if they've got a colour scheme. Some of them are really definite and know what they want, and I love the ones that have got a bit of an imagination, and we do lots and lots of personalised quirky cakes for people, and I can really, really get my design flair in and really go for it, and I love doing that sort of thing. You've got to listen to the individual as well, because I try and pull out of them how they first met, have they got any interesting hobbies that they do together and things, and we try and pull them things through. A lot of people, instantly, they're just after something very classical, and they want just pretties and lots of floral flowers, and that's great as well. We like doing that as well, but we always like a bit of punch of colour. We try and say nothing doesn't go what we make, and we try and tell them that there's no rules. Let's just open the rule books out, and I often get people coming, they've had this idea in their head that they want, and they've gone away with something completely different. I'm very excited, and I've also had the grooms that come, and they really don't want to be here whatsoever, and then by the end of it, they put more input into it than the actual bride has, and that to me is brilliant, when they get so excited about their cake as much as I do.
What makes a traditional wedding cake?
There isn't such thing as a traditional wedding cake anymore, to be honest. It makes me laugh when people come to me in fairs and go, oh no, your style's too wacky, you're too flamboyant, and we want a traditional cake. But to be fair, when we're at fairs, we take a wide range of skill levels to show people that you don't just have to have what they call traditional. There isn't really a traditional cake anymore. When I ask people, it's funny, because when I actually ask people, what is your vision of traditional, they haven't actually got an answer. So, because there isn't. If you look around a Pinterest, around the cake world, it's vast. I mean, many years ago it was just a fruit cake, royal icing on, some royal icing piping, and some flowers, and I suppose you call that traditional, but actually if you ask people, that isn't what they want. They just don't know what they want. And like I say, some people think I'm a bit flamboyant with my designs, but that's not what we're about. We want to show people that we're unique, we're a bit different, and we can do anything really, and we get excited and passionate about every project we do, and that's really, really important. Hence we don't take on loads and loads of wedding cakes in a week, because we want to give you the best experience that we can and the best of our work and our ability. But you can see from our website that we do plain ones, we do the rustics, we do the buttercreams, but our passion is quirky, and flowers. We love vibrant, beautiful flowers, and I love to make everything out of sugar. All the flowers on the website, except for the female kids, are all sugar flowers, which amazes people, because a lot of people have got a few silk flowers, and when I'm at fairs it's quite annoying because they want to touch, constantly want to touch, because they want to see that it is made out of sugar. And it's all very nice that they feel like that, and it's very flattering, but they're very fragile. It's very informal. I hope it's a bit of fun, to be honest. I'm very relaxed and open. And you come in, get to taste yummy cakes. I tend to do 3 flavours, unless you specifically ask for something to try. I tend to do the ones that are my top sellers, and at the moment it's cookies and cream, and my vanilla, and my red velvet, and also the lime and white chocolate's been a huge success of late as well. So you come in, try that, and then obviously I say, have you got any, I love Pinterest. I say to people, go to Pinterest and get inspired, even if you like elements of cakes. It doesn't have to be the whole cake, but elements. A couple of like a pinboard, it helps a lot. It does help a lot. And then they show me what they like, and we can go through all the dislikes and likes. Most consultations, to be honest, should only take half an hour, because I appreciate that we've all got to move on and we've got better things to be doing. So half an hour is the average turnaround of a consultation. And some take a couple of hours, that's fine. It takes what it takes, but normally it's half an hour. Then we go through design, sort out the design, and then I've got a contract. So I take a copy, we fill in various details on the contract, and I take a copy of the contract for myself, and then I give them the contract and say, go away and think about it. Some people go, no, we want to book you there and then. Well, that's absolutely brilliant. And I ask for a £100 cake deposit, and that is for booking your slot. And then final payment is 4 weeks before your wedding. So most people do actually book me on the spot, but I do encourage people to go away and think about it, because I don't want anyone to do any hasty decisions. So yeah, and then I tend to get an email probably on the Monday saying they want to book me, and we go from there. And then I'm always open to, if you want to do tweaks, you want to change flavours, you want to get in contact with me, even if you think it's a really silly little detail you want to change, absolutely fine. Once I'm booked, I'm booked. You can send me as many messages as you like, it's not a problem. Even if you think it's really, really silly, I want to change that ribbon, we'll do that. It's got to be right. The cake's for you, and my taste isn't necessarily your taste. So we've all got different tastes, and I appreciate that. And if you really like something and you really want it, then that's absolutely fine. So, and then basically, if you're happy, you won't really hear from me again until 4 weeks before your wedding, where I'll send you the final invoice and just briefly go over the design again to make sure we're all happy. And then we go on your wedding. We tend to set up about 11 o'clock, so we don't like to be there too early when everybody's bustling around in the room, because things get knocked, we get knocked, and we'd hate that to happen. So we generally set up about 11 o'clock, if not a little bit earlier, it depends on the day. And in the summer, maybe a little bit earlier, because we want to get in before the heat of the sun. So it's all depends on the elements, really. I don't normally enter awards, to be honest. I find them quite intimidating. So I was absolutely delighted to win this year. I was winner of Best Cake Maker and Brides on brides.co.uk. And what was lovely about this award, it's so important to me, it was literally done on testimonials from customers that have come to me and everything. So they had to put their testimonials in, and they had to put their emails in, so that they could verify that they were true, legit testimonies, and not loads of testimonies I bunged in. So it's a real true award. I won Best Cake Maker in Lux magazine. Not many people have heard of Lux magazine, but it's starting to get a big name. I won that last year, and just recently I won the South East Surrey Awards Best Cake Maker 2018, so really pleased about that. And that I was nominated apparently, so that is always a lovely compliment when you've been nominated for an award that you didn't even know about. So a very, very exciting thing. I don't enter cake competitions, as I say. I find it all too intimidating. So to get these awards on the back of just hard work and people actually nominating me and me not nominating myself is just so rewarding, and it makes everything I do worthwhile, because we do work hard.
So what do your prices estimate around cakes?
They roughly start from £4.65 upwards. The reason for that is some people might think, that's expensive, but unfortunately ingredients have gone up through the roof. We use quality ingredients. It's really important to us. We use real butter in everything that we do. We use, and that is Kerrygold butter. Oh, it's a lovely butter. And we use free-range eggs and happy eggs. It's really important our hens are happy that laid our eggs. And Garibaldi chocolate in all our ganache, not cheap slabs, Sainsbury's own chocolate. Again with our marzipan, it's all Renshaw. And our fondant is an expensive fondant that we use. It's quite marshmallowy. It's not Asda's own or Sainsbury's own. It's one that we get in specifically. And actually, the brand we used was used on the cakes and the royal wedding cake. So, and then you go to the quirky side. You can appreciate prices there start from £7.95 upwards, but it really depends on embellishment, because how much time it's going to take me and how much embellishment is involved, because I'm about detail. I love doing detail, and the more detail you want, which is a lot of people do want these days, because people do want a wow factor cake. They want to walk in the room and go, wow, my wedding cake, and they want it talking poetry, and it's a brilliant icebreaker as well for people, because a lot of people at weddings, let's face it, don't know each other, or they do, but they haven't seen each other in ages. And the cake's a really good talking point, and it breaks the ice. And people generally say to me, they're still talking about my cake years and years on. So, and that is just super when people get that reaction. So again, it's up to you whether you want a Marks and Spencer's cake that has no presents whatsoever in the corner, or you want a wow factor. And you've got to think about, and if you want wow factor, you have got to pay the price for it. And that's because we work really, really hard to produce what you want. It's not, the actual flowers can take me 3 to 4 days just to create the flowers, and models equally take me at least a day to do. And my days aren't 9 to 5, they're normally 9 till sometimes 2 in the morning.
So would you be able to tell us about this cake behind you that you've, yes, this cake you've chosen?
Yeah, this was a lovely change actually. This is for 2 young chaps, bless them. They don't live in this country, but they're coming over here to get married. So I had to work via themselves and via their wedding coordinator that they'd hired over here. And we're delivering this one tomorrow. And it was all based on their wedding invitation, to be honest. I designed it. Here's the design. So it's quite nice to see my drawing, and then taking my drawing and making it into the actual design at the end of the day. And for me it was quite a challenge because I don't do a lot of painting, which I would like to develop my skills more on the painting side of cake. So it's all hand painted, all embellished, and if you look carefully you can see tiny little rabbits that I've painted in gold all over it. And I wanted to make them they wanted a rabbit topper, and I really wanted to make them feel a little bit vintagey, a little bit different. So I made those rabbits freehand, bought them out of modelling chocolate. And then all the flowers, goes all the way round, is the poppies that were quite prominent on their wedding invitation. They didn't want roses or anything, and then their invitation had loads of these leaves and berries. There's over 250 individual petals on that cake. It took me 4 days just to make all the petals and flowers. And so no, I'm really, really pleased with how it's turned out, and I hope my couple equally loves it tomorrow when I deliver it for them.
So what are your contact details for people to come and contact you if they want a cake?
I've got 2 websites, they're both interactive, and hopefully in the new year actually I'm going to have a brand new, spanking new wedding website, all going well. So we're working on that in the background at the moment. But my celebration site, so if you still want a novelty cake and not a wedding cake, is www.cakesbynina.co.uk. My wedding site is www.cakesbyninaweddings.co.uk. All my details are on the website, so I've got contact forms on there. It's probably easier for you to do. Try not to ring my landline. I get, unfortunately, lots of nuisance calls, and so I don't tend to answer it. So email's best, WhatsApp's great, and text is also good. So that's the way to contact me.